Why did defying a dumb rule end up being the best decision you've ever made? My parents were absolutely convinced the gym was no place for a 17-year-old girl. At 17, I was the only athlete on my track team who wasn't allowed to strength train. While my teammates were getting faster and stronger every week, I was stuck doing bodyweight exercises in my bedroom with a yoga mat my mom bought on sale. The frustration was unbearable. Every time I brought up needing a gym membership, my dad would go into his speech. There are too many creepy guys just showing off and hitting on young girls, he'd say. Those places are meat markets, not fitness centers. Mom would jump in with stories she'd read on Facebook. Did you see that article about the girl who got followed home from the gym? Or, a trainer at that franchise got arrested for harassment last year? My coach kept asking why I wasn't following the team strength program. She'd written out this whole periodized training plan, but I had to keep making excuses about why my times weren't improving. I begged them constantly. Please just let me try it for 1 month. I'll only go during women's hours. But dad would shake his head and say, we're protecting you from that toxic culture. Meanwhile, girls I used to beat easily were now passing me in races, and college scouts stopped considering me at all. I was venting to my best friend Kimberly after practice one day about how much I was starting to resent my parents. They think every guy there is some predator waiting to harass me. Kimberly just stared at me like I'd grown a second head. That's insane. You need strength training for track. What do they expect you to do? Fail horribly? Her mom overheard us talking and walked over to the couch. I thought I was about to get another adult lecture, but instead she said, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. The next day during pickup, she secretly handed me a key fob. I added you to our family gym membership, she whispered while my mom was distracted. Tell your parents you're studying at the library with Kimberly before school. Oh my god. I hugged her and thanked her and promised to keep this secret. For 3 months, Kimberly picked me up every morning at 5:30 a.m. for our library study sessions when we were actually going to the gym to train. I was building muscle and finally starting to catch up with the rest of the team. I even kept gym clothes in Kimberly's car and always showered before returning so my parents would never realize. Then one Saturday afternoon, my rebellion would end up paying off in an unexpected way. I was upstairs in my room doing bodyweight exercises when I heard my mom's car pull up. She'd been out grocery shopping and was carrying in those massive bags. She'd always refused to make 2 trips and was stubbornly carrying all the bags all at once. Through my window, I watched her struggle with the bags, each one looking like it weighed a ton. I heard the front door open, then footsteps, then a sound I'll never forget. A sharp crack followed by a cry of pure agony. I flew down the stairs to find Mom collapsed on the kitchen floor. Her face was completely red and she was crying like it was someone's funeral. My back, she whispered, barely able to speak through the pain. Something popped. I can't move. Her whole body was trembling. Every tiny movement made her cry out. I tried to help her up the normal way, grabbing her hands and pulling her up, but she screamed so loud I jumped back. Don't pull my arms. Please, it hurts so bad. She was sobbing now, the kind of crying where you can't even catch your breath. Something in me just shifted when I realized my mom needed immediate help. The adrenaline hit me like a wave. Without even realizing what I was doing, I dropped into a perfect squat position, slid my arms under Mom's body, and lifted her up in my arms with barely any effort at all. Just hold on, Mom. I'll take you to the hospital. Mom gasped and looked at me in shock. How did you just lift me? But I was already moving, keeping my back straight, breathing steadily, carrying her through the house like I'd carried that 150-pound barbell last week. I set her down gently in the backseat of her car and drove straight to the emergency room, with her bewildered face watching me in the rearview mirror the entire time. I pulled up to the emergency entrance and ran inside for a wheelchair. A nurse helped me transfer Mom while she winced with every tiny movement. We wheeled her straight in and they took her back for x-rays and an MRI. About an hour later, a doctor came out and brought me back to where Mom was lying on a gurney. Your mother has a herniated disc, he said, looking at both of us. The compression on her nerves was severe. If she'd stayed on that floor much longer, we'd be looking at potential permanent nerve damage, possibly even paralysis. Mom's face went white. I could have been paralyzed? The doctor nodded. You're very lucky you got here when you did. Every minute matters with this type of injury. After the doctor left, she turned to me and asked, have you been going to the gym? I nodded, and her only response was, good.